Hey friends, welcome back to the Things Nice channel. So I'm recording this on Friday, July 21st, 2023, and I'm sharing with you what my plans are for summer 2023 and what the planning has looked like thus far. So, in a couple weeks, probably less than 2 weeks now, I will be heading to both Crop Over and Antigua Carnival. Um, they happen at the same time. So, like Kadooment Day, which is the day that the Barbados bands go on the road, is the same day that the Antiguan bands go on the road. The only difference between one of the differences rather between Crop Over and Antigua is that Antigua has 2 days of road and Crop Over only has one. There was a time that someone would try to bring like day two to Crop Over and they were like, no, we're not having that. But that's neither here nor there. So Barbados is um, the home of my first international festival, right? Because Crop Over is a festival, and it is not just 2 days. Like Crop Over been happening for months, months and months. They've been partying. It's a whole thing, right? It's the end of the crop season, right? There's a whole history. Look it up. Do your research. If you're talking to a Bayesian, please don't call Crop Over a carnival because they're gonna cuss you. So anyway, I have not been back to Barbados since 2013. And prior to that, I had been every year. I went in 2010, 11, 12, 13. I went all 4 years back to back, wasn't going anywhere else. And then I'm like, nah, 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 I gotta go. I have to go somewhere else, right? I want to continue to explore different countries, different islands, and see what their carnivals have to offer, which I think is the beauty behind it all, right? Every one of them should be different. So I'm not going to be able to do a lot in BIM. I have a flight. I believe my flight leaves on Wednesday. I have a layover because flights are just wilding these days. I have a layover in Toronto, which is fine because I get to see my good friend, and actually simultaneously Caravana will be happening while I'm in Toronto. I don't think I'll be doing anything because I'm doing quite enough abroad. So layover in Canada for a day or a night, and then head on over to BIM, basically doing a jumbo jet situation straight off the plane. I'm probably going to stop by Oysters so I can get my fish. If you know about Barbados, you know that you have to go to Oysters, okay? And for those of you who are not familiar, a lot of you feel like or think, and I thought this too, right? I thought that Oysters was just open on Fish Fry Fridays. That is not the case. Oysters is open all day. Who knew? Well, they knew. I didn't know. So anyway, I'm going to be in BIM at Oysters, enjoying my best red snapper. I don't know if I want it grilled or fried yet. Maybe I'll get both. So after I go to Oysters, the plan is we're going to Lush. The funny thing is that I went to Lush the very first year that they held it back in 2012. So Lush is a cooler fete. It has evolved. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how things are this year. And I'm going to a new fete, well, new to me. It's called Jabnaval. So it is a Juve fete, it's a dirty fete. And I'm like, I know that I'm growing out of them, but I'm looking forward to this one. I think I look forward to everything that is Barbados and Bashment Soca because it's just vibes. It's just vibes. I think when I think about, and this is like a slight sidebar, when I think about Trinidad and Road and Trinidad music, I get annoyed because I was reminded when I was in Trinidad this year on the road, like, I forgot that they keep playing the same songs over and over because of road march or because of politics or because of whatever. Like, it's just like, do we have to do this? But in BIM, it's just, the music is just amazing. Has never really let me down. I mean, I haven't found any SoundCloud mixes right now that are hit in my spirit with them, but I'm like, it's okay. I know when I get there, we're gonna work it out. So after Jabnaval, hopefully get a little nap in and then catch my flight, hop on over to Antigua. So here's the thing. A lot of people just came back from St. Lucia. A lot of people went to St. Lucia from Vincy. And a lot of people had their bags left. I'm not trying to be one of those people. So I have set up a little plan with my homegirl who's going to take my bag straight to Antigua, because what we're not doing is messing with Inter-Caribbean, who, if you know, you know, Inter-Caribbean does not have the best reputation. I will leave it there. I'm not going to sit up here and trash them, but I will say they don't have the best reputation. And I am not ready to risk it all and have my things left behind in Barbados while I'm in Antigua. So to avoid that, I'm hoping that it will be safer coming from here to Antigua. And even in the event that maybe it doesn't reach, maybe by the time I get there, right? Because there'll be about 3-4 days difference between when my friend arrives and when I'm arriving. That's like, okay, you know what? Maybe it'll be there by the time I get there, right? Just maybe. But this is why you always should pack what you need for like the first 2 days in your carry-on. That way you at least you have something, okay? But again, we're gonna talk about that in another blog. Actually, I think I already did. So yeah, Antigua, I've been twice. I've literally been since I went last year, 2022. I went 2021. But it wasn't for Carnival. It was just for, relaxation and whatnot. But this year is for mass. And what I've learned is that it's just different. The planning aspect of it is different. And you have to, or I had to really kind of go in there with a go with the flow type of mentality, because I'm used to, okay, boom, boom, boom. This is when these things usually happen that I know of. And it's different, right? Because it's my first time going. So it's always that, that learning period that you have to go through as a newbie going. Sure, I have people that are from there that know things, but it's like, but even like there's differences in opinion there, right? So it's just like, all right, well, who am I listening to? This person or this person or this person? Or am I just kind of thinking about everything that everybody's saying and just going and making your own decision? That's kind of what I do. So the first struggle was with the costume bands. Now, for years, I've always given props to Insane Carnival because I love the fact that they do everything on island. Like, I remember looking at videos from years past about their production, and I'm just like, yes, keep it local. Like, I'm always team local, right? So I was looking to jump with them. But then I'm like, but everybody kind of always jumps with them. And I like to offer different perspectives, right? So then I was like, okay, well, let me look to see what Mist comes with. Mist is another band, one of the popular bands, whatever. And then when they launched, I wasn't really in love with any of the costumes that they presented. And then I also heard that they kind of recycled or upcycled or whatever some of the costumes from the previous years, maybe renamed them, whatever. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I'm still not in love with any of them. I wasn't really in love with any of the ones from Insane either, but there were a couple that I was like, you know what, I can rock this. I can, I can freak that, So cool. And my thing was, I wanted to wait until all the bands launched so that I could make an informed decision. This was a joke, the running joke in our chat, right? Because there were two of us, like a lot of people had automatically jumped on Insane. Then some people were waiting for Miss. I'm like, I'm just waiting. Because what happened was, I might be rambling, right? So Insane launched. I was like, okay, cool. Miss launched. I was like, okay. Then out of nowhere, thin air, a new band start popping up on my Instagram feed promoting. I'm like, where y'all come from? Sections the band. I was just like, what? Is Mass not in August? Houseway. Y'all gonna be able to do all this stuff in 2 months? So like it was a red flag for me. I'm just like, sway. So I'm like, all right. I waited for the band launch. They launched. I wasn't in love with any of them. So I'm like, all right, well, back to Insane we go. So I ended up registering with Insane. And I do like my costume. I mean, for the option that I have, like, you know, and I'm not expecting, you know, Trinidad level designs or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is what it is. We gonna freak it, whatever it is. So I was just like, the delay in the costumes was just like, what is going on? And then on top of that, I think, what name? I think Insane launched over like a week. Like they launched over a period of days, and I was just like, I never have I ever. And I didn't care for that type of approach. I'm like, could you just throw them all out here in one evening? I'm not understanding why we're doing this. So anyway, now let's talk about the Juve bands. Again, I'm recording this on July 21st, 2023. So Caution launched some time ago, but I was waiting per usual. I've been waiting. I've had my eyes on Chatterbox for so many years, from St. Kids, but wherever they go, I'm just like, yo, this looks like it. This looks like where I need to be. I've always loved their presentations. Their goodie bags look phenomenal. I love just like the little accessories that they provide to their revelers. I'm just like, yes, yes. However, I just been waiting and waiting and waiting. And it wasn't until last week that Chatterbox decided to launch, which would have been fine. But what happened was there was an announcement that they made that they were pulling out of two other carnivals, right? They were pulling out of like St. Vincent, and I forget the other one. Was it St. Lucia? Somewhere. And I'm like, and for months, they've just been going hard promoting these things, but crickets on Antigua. Like, I know way back in January, y'all posted this calendar saying that Antigua Juve was going to launch July such and such. However, given the information that you just dropped about coming out of those carnivals, are you still having a section or an experience for Antigua? That's what we need to know. And then there was just this whole thing with comment deletions, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm not getting good vibes here. So I'm gonna go over here. It's gonna go over here to Caution. And they announced that they were also 21 plus. I was like, okay, Caution, let's do this. Let's do this. And we're just gonna do it. It's gonna Chatterbox, I will see you another time. No hard feelings, okay? And then in terms of fets, it's just a couple on my list. BFF is the cooler fet. The breakfast fet is one that's happening. Also, I think it's like a theme, something oriental, something. I have to figure out what I'm wearing for that. Ripple and Tees is on my list. And then I think that's it. Other than that, we're just chilling. Yeah, and then Juve with Caution. So I'll take y'all on the journey of me actually preparing for this. I'm gonna start today, and that's gonna be another episode. But yeah, so far it's just been lots of nice little roller coaster planning and getting this agenda and costume and Juve, all of those things together. So yeah, Stay tuned. No hard feelings.